Hi, and good afternoon. My name is Don Brancato, and I'm making this video from a little bit chilly near St. Louis, Missouri in the USA, up the center of the country. It's quite cold here these days, just under freezing, which I understand is a lot colder than it is in Oslo these days. So I'm a technologist, and first off, I'd like to welcome you to Oslo Big Data Day 2019. And more specifically, if you're coming to the prop tech track, I'll invite you to that. I mean, my work as a technologist, one of the things that I look at is standards, industrial or IoT, the Internet of Things, and standards that can support them. And I think about three things in my work. And so before I talk about those three things, I'd like to help you imagine that prop tech is on the verge of booming, especially in Europe and in Asia. Probably the US markets will follow. But it's going to boom, this prop technology notion, and the notion that portfolios could be better imagined, utilized, or operated if better metrology or metrics are applied to the data that's being collected by sensors. I'm on a hike right now, as you can tell. I'm not in the good shape that most Europeans are either. So sensors these days, this notion of processor, fabric, or network and storage come together to link or bring data about things that are happening in a business ecosystem. So property technology, if you can imagine, this notion that water, cooling, oil, gas, and so on, temperature, environmental information, occupancy or no, can be managed or data can be collected of it is quite interesting, I think. The idea is that these sensors can be used to understand cost, latency, which is time to value, or interoperability, which is how these sensors work together or cooperate to share data so that events can be correlated in a better way to understand what's happening with their portfolio. So cost, latency, and interoperability are three of the things that we'll discuss in the prop tech track. That said, the idea is that how can we better understand our portfolios and investments? How can we help owners of investments track what's happening more efficiently or effectively? One of the things that you'll know is that there are many startups, many organizations who own these sensors, who sell them to property owners and to portfolio owners. The difficulty thereof is they each have their own data model. And so you have your own individual interface for each one of those items, each one of those sensors. Standards are a way to lower the cost of entry, lower the cost of maintenance, of interoperability by providing one data model for essentially all sensors. So one of the themes that I'd like to help you consider is the notion of investing in organizations or in manufacturers who have a single data model for the sensors that are used in your portfolio. And so the reason for that is, one, is it can lower the cost of entry into getting sensors for your portfolio, and two, essentially providing a lower cost to entry. And that being said, there should be probably one interface, not many. So if you have a portfolio that has hundreds of sensors, you can imagine you wouldn't like to have hundreds of interfaces. You should like to have one, a singular one. And the cost of interoperability for integrating all those sensors could be quite high. So a single data model that all of the sensors could talk to just makes sense. So the vector that we'll describe in the prop tech talk is how to manage cost, latency, and interoperability with a single standard so that there can be a single interface, so that given one property or many properties, you essentially can have a singular interface. So good travels to you all. I hope to see you in Oslo at Oslo Big Data Day 2019. So have a great day. See you then. Bye-bye.